Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Earth Key English podcast. My name is Gianluigi Nicolosi, and I'm one of the co-founders of this lovely enterprise called Earth Key English. Today, we've got a very, very special guest for you, because we offer a STEM program, and in our STEM program, we learn about art and mathematics. And one of our projects is you get to build your own beautiful piece of string art. So, as a special treat, I brought in one of my good friends who's going to talk about education and how string art has helped him learn new things. See, so STEM can help you not just learn about maths itself, but help you learn how to learn. But before we jump into that, please don't forget, give this video a little thumbs up, hit our subscribe button, and thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, always, guys.
Yeah.
And you'll get free content and free podcasts every single week. So, before I waste your time, please, could you introduce yourself to our lovely audience today?
Hey, lovely audience. My name is Truitt Urbanic. I've been a teacher now for about 6 years, and string art is one of my side hobbies. It's a passion of mine. Yeah.
Oh, awesome, man! Awesome. So
my name's Truitt, by the way.
Truitt. Thank you.
Call me True.
True. So, what got you into teaching and education?
Man, I come from like a family of teachers. So
wow.
like my stepmom's a teacher. My dad is a retired teacher of like 33 years. My sister's a first grade teacher, and I've always had this knack. I just like explaining things, and so it's an easy way to get paid to explain stuff. So
yeah,
it's
true.
fun. Yeah, I like teaching. Plus, it's like I think it's one of the most influential ways to really change the world. You plant a seed of an idea, especially in someone young, and you watch it grow, and that's how you really change the world. So
yeah, honestly, I believe that's one of the most rewarding things about teaching, is that you can see when that development or change has happened in a child that has been a positive influence on their life. And
anybody who's teaching knows the look. Where
yes.
you say something to a kid and you're just like, oh, and you just rock their whole world,
yeah.
and that's it.
You literally see their brain go.
It's a great moment. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, we live for those. It's good.
I know, and it really, really is. I mean, I was teaching one of my kids the other day, and I was going through him online, and we were doing like geometric line drawings.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I was like, do you think I can draw a curved line using only straight lines? And he was like, no, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, cool, let's do this math. And we started doing these problems to plot out points in a graph and join these points in a graph.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, I just saw him go, looking at me and looking at his paper and just going,
yeah.
But
you
how?
completely rocked it. Yeah. Everything, you just reset his foundation of reality. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's so rewarding to see that sudden like click and understanding in a child. Hey, yeah, man.
Yeah, when you shape people more than just understanding, but like how the world ought to be with simple things like recycling, and you suddenly imprint that importance, then you're really shaping the world for the better.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the game.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, no, that's
good.
That's good. And then we take it one further step and get them to teach others.
Sure. Well, I find that's really that's like the pinnacle of really any skill. If you do something, you end up teaching people inevitably if you're good at it. Like when I go and set up the Slackline, I'm inevitably teaching people how to slackline, because they're like, whoa, you're adequate at this. Please explain it to me. And then your ability to explain something makes you better, and then you spread it, and it just kind of spirals.
Yeah. I like that mindset, though, that people get, and it's kind of sad that as it really starts happening as you get older, where people aren't shy to be like, yo, I don't know that. Please can you help me teach me?
Yeah. I push that all the time in the classrooms. Like, look, you don't. It's okay to not know. Like you can't be afraid to ask questions and to say like, I don't know. I think too many people in the world today it's not okay to not know. I mean, I have to know everything and I have to be right, and that's just, you lock yourself in to wherever you are.
Yeah,
you
by
can't
doing
grow.
that, you're automatically closing doors, and you're automatically not allowing your mind to actually grasp new concepts because you're so focused on this is what I know and this is how I know that it is right.
It's very healthy to believe that you could be wrong about anything. I mean, even in the Western canon, that's at the heart of science. Like, give me new data. Okay, I was wrong. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
But people find that hard. They often attach their ego to the things they believe, and then learning a new thing becomes a death of the self.
Yeah.
And then you're in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you got to detach yourself. You are not the things you believe. You are the thing that looks at the things you believe.
Yeah. Which is kind of why I've always been a bit fascinated in psychology, because it's taken this abstract concept that humans have created in terms of consciousness and applied a scientific method of looking at it. And
doing the best we can with
yeah,
what we
again,
got, because it's like we all got to run into not only our own but to other people's, and we got to try to be like, why do people do that? You know, that's the whole
more
feel.
often than not.
What is going on? Like,
yeah, especially driving on the roads in Vietnam.
driving on the roads to
it's
even like more large scale practical things like economics. Economics is really a study of psychology. Why do people buy things? Why do they spend money?
Yeah. That's actually something we touched on in my IELTS class with some of my students the other day was psychology and marketing and product placement and everything. And
The
again,
good and the bad.
sudden realization of, oh, that's why all the fruit is as you walk into.
That's why all the candy bars are right at the checkout.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a sudden realization.
They're hacking your brain, dude.
They are, man.
What do you think they're doing on Facebook? They're doing the same thing. They're putting those ads. They know.
Yeah.
They're listening to you doing stuff.
Did you watch that new documentary recently? Was it The Social Dilemma?
I did. I heard so much about it, and it was cool. I liked. I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but it wasn't anything I didn't already know. I'm very hype on, like, because I don't do social media at all. I'm off all of it. It's just not my style.
Someone's like moving a house upstairs.
Noisy neighbors, welcome to Hanoi. 9 million people living in a little dot.
Yeah.
But what I liked, and going back to the psychology of things, is the way they presented it. Because there was like 20% of a movie in there.
Yeah.
You had characters that were like
exactly.
acting and playing a role, and the way they personified like the three guys behind the desk, and they were like, hit him with that notification. He hasn't been on in how many hours.
Yeah.
I think that makes it really digestible for people who can't really get it on an intellectual level, and that's cool, because it's not enough to tell people things they need to know. As a teacher, you get that. You got to get through to them. You got to
and that scene is probably what most people are going to remember about that episode.
Stuck with me, bringing it up right now. Yeah, because I was like, oh, that's so clever.
Yeah, exactly.
That was definitely it. I love that.
Yeah, but again, it's like they've taken a deep philosophical concept of social media and technology manipulation and consciousness manipulation and action manipulation and turned it into an art form. Movie,
something we can digest.
Exactly.
The oldest art form of all, the story.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were talking about the story the other day.
The story is the most prevalent, most powerful, the original art form. That's it, man. Even in today's world, I mean, movies are the most powerful art form there is.
Yeah, it's just story now, just thrown into a visual.
It's the pinnacle of storytelling at the moment.
Yeah. That's actually a beautiful way of looking at it. As the pinnacle of storytelling at the moment.
Yeah, a quote from a movie I like, The Counselor. He says, at the heart of any culture is the nature of its hero. And like, what is good and what is bad? I bet you it's what heroes do, what villains do, and it's all right there. And that's what people digest. Even little kids, they watch Frozen and like, oh, that's the bad guy. He's doing bad things. And that's the heart of culture. It's found in the hero.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, if you look at it and break down nearly every single movie that's been created, they all come back to a story that was verbally told and spread tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of years ago throughout humanity's life.
That's it.
Yeah, man. And I mean, like, this is where I believe, like, art and mathematics is a way of also storytelling, because you're taking the language of the universe and presenting it in a story, whether it's music or a movie or string art or paintings or anything as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all types of different vibrations that get through to different people. For me, it's movies. So I mean, like I mean, I'm not a big math guy. I've actually been getting into math recently. I've been digging into some interesting stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, different things speak to different people, and that's cool. I dig that too.
Cool, man. So then, if you're not such a big math guy, what got you into the string art?
String art for me is well, I took a trip, and this girl taught me how to make one, and I just kind of fell in love. It was
with the girl or with the string art?
With the string art.
Okay.
It's this is gonna sound terrible to most people, I think, but it's monotonous and repetitive.
Monotonous and repetitive.
It is.
It
like,
does sound terrible.
I know. It's not. It's very simple. It's not like painting where you constantly got to be engaged and you're like being tactical. Like, it's a simple pattern and you repeat it. But if you do it long enough, it makes something really epic at the end. And so you can kind of like just zone out and just be like, it's very meditative, and that really fits my style. It allows me to think while I'm creating, and I like that.
Would you consider yourself getting into a flow state when you're creating one of these pieces?
Yes, because all the prep goes in beforehand. If anyone who's ever colored seriously, like gotten into coloring, you do all the work before you start. You like I do. I'm thinking about the colors and like where things are going, and then you just like zone out and you just go, and then you're just doing the motions, and that's what.
Are you drawing? Like, do you draw it first? Or
I'm
just
talking
like
about coloring. I'm talking about just a coloring book. You know, like if you're doing like serious like adult coloring, like I was into that for a while, for the same reason.
Yeah, those adult
meditative.
color books are amazing.
Right, the mandalas or whatever it is. Yeah, so I find that string art's like that. Like I have a plan, I make a model, I work out my colors, sometimes for days, and then I'm like, okay, go, and it just then it just starts flowing. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's really interesting, because we've had a few flow artists on the show before as well, and it's interesting to see how flow state consciousness can be tapped in no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, it's that like again, we were talking about master skills earlier. It's that balance of attentiveness and not attentiveness. Like you're paying attention, but not really.
Yes.
Yeah, like I tap in like slacklining, climbing. It's all different variations and levels and styles of that. That's where the real power is. You just kind of act without thinking, but have a hyper awareness.
Yes.
It sounds contradictory, but
it does,
all truth is built in contradiction. You know, life's a contradiction.
Yeah.
It all comes out of that,
yeah, life's just chaotic, and that's the only thing that it always has been.
That's it.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to know, how many pieces have you done, man?
Probably about, I'd say at least 30-ish of different sizes.
Okay.
Sometimes commissions, sometimes just for fun, sometimes you know, all kinds of different things. Yeah.
Cool. And how long would it take to build one?
Anywhere. Well, when I do workshops, I've done a lot of workshops. I tell people you need time for a movie.
Yeah.
Like, and like if you're not prepared to sit down and watch a movie, then you shouldn't join in, because it's gonna be about 90 minutes. So I've done 90 minutes, and I've done big ones that have taken me about maybe 30 hours.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's not one sitting, obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like.
No, this is over lots of time.
Yeah,
but
a lot of coffee.
Yeah, so anywhere I'd say from like 2 hours to 30 hours is the range. Yeah.
Sure. How big would that 30-hour piece be?
So the 30-hour one was actually a tree that I built that was so it's the circle and then another circle, so it's 3-dimensional.
Oh, wow.
And it was the first one I ever did. That's why it took so long. I had to build a rack in my apartment to hang it up on, like so I could actually like work on it without touching it.
Without
you know?
touching it, yeah.
Yeah, but an average one, like a big one, maybe like 10. 10 is a good run. For like a big, you know, maybe good like piece. 45-centimeter diameter, like big, nice tree. Yeah.
Now, would you do the pattern on generally like a circular frame or a hexagonal frame, or?
Circular frames work best. If you do other stuff, it comes out wonky. I've tried with other shapes.
Okay.
I've done squares and trapezoids, and I did a teardrop one once, and they come out weird. Which weird is sometimes good. Sometimes when I finish one, I'll just put my fingers in it and twist it like this to kind of just give it some wabi-sabi.
Yeah.
But
wabi-sabi.
Yeah. So yeah, the circle is really how the pattern is built. When you don't move in the circle, you run into problems that you have to compensate for.
Okay. Would you say that you're like, if you do use a hexagonal pattern, that there are certain types of mathematical formulas that would make a good one there, or is it really just kind of a
formula is really strong? I look for things like just basic symmetry. Yeah, symmetry. So like in the beginning when you start, it's really important that like all the starting piece, it's the foundation. Because once you start, it just kind of builds itself. You spiral in. But when you set the beginning, you need to count. Do you want it to be even or uneven? Like, and those have an influence. And it's kind of like, I don't know a lot about tie-dye, but maybe tie-dye, like you set it, and then once you've got started, like, it's just out of your hands. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. I kind of like doing tie-dye like that, though.
Sure, like, yeah. Well, that's the randomness of it.
You've got the idea for your pattern. You're like, right, let's twist it, let's tie it, and then it's, it looks similar, but it looks better now.
And in the beginning, I would do a lot like that. I would experiment, and I realized that, like, if I just chill and do a lot of planning, they come out a lot more beautiful and symmetrical. So you do experimenting in any art form, but some pre-planning goes a long way, just in symmetry.
That's really interesting. Have you thought of doing like a life-size one?
Man, like you've been to my apartment before. I don't know if you've seen it. I have a hula hoop at my outside that's like this big that I got from Circus one night, and I thought about it a lot, but I don't even know how I'd get it downstairs after I built it, like, because I had to like squeeze the hula hoop up the stairs. Yeah, I think about doing a hoop one time. I was gonna do some for Quest.
Could tie it on a string and like drop it down.
That would inevitably. And then, like, where would I do it? I've got so many in my apartment. By the way, if anyone wants dream catchers, I'd be happy to sell some. They're all for sale. I've got so many that I just, without like real incentivization, I don't make one unless I feel really passionate about it. Like, I'm like, I really want to, or if I need to clear my head.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
Do you kind of use that to de-stress as well? Or?
Yeah, because it takes you out of it. I mean, any project will really do that. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna think about colors. I'm just gonna zone out. And I'm not a big music guy. I'm a big movie guy. So I usually put a movie on in the background, a familiar one that I've seen. That runs. So I'm just not here. Yeah, I'm in my art, I'm in the movie, and I'm just out of my head.
Yeah, what type of movies are you putting on generally? Like fantasy movies or like
anything philosophical, anything that resonates my reality, anything where I'm like, you know that scene in that movie, and I can share it with friends. Those are the type of movies. Always passive, like always a movie I've already seen.
Okay, when you're doing work, yeah. I'm the same as you as well if I'm doing something.
I would never put on a new movie or something I wanted to really watch. That's an active movie experience where I'm watching phones off. Passive is just kind of always in the background.
Do you have like a go-to movie that you use? Or
I've got so many go-to movies. I mean, I could talk for hours on movies. There's a lot of movies. I mean, like Darjeeling Limited comes to mind. Cloud Atlas is another one. That's also great. I've really gotten into the Spider-Verse lately. The new Spider-Man animated movie. Yeah. Those are just some that just pop in my head real quick. But honestly, I find that there's 3 movie channels. I just kind of rotate through. And there's something about, because I'll ask you all a question. Like, you guys have gotten on Netflix and just scrolled for 30 minutes before?
Oh yeah, completely, man. I
avoid that. By just whatever's on is what's on.
I set a time limit nowadays.
You gotta stop it, right?
Yeah. If I can't find something, right? That's it. Then you read a book.
It's the 3 movies. So there's 3 movies on. Those are your 3 choices. You can't pause it. You can't stop it, and it's just okay. Yeah. Like, you didn't pick it, so you don't have to pay attention. You don't have to. It's just there. Yeah. It takes away a lot. Just like, okay, it's just on.
I find myself actually watching the movies that I picked on, like found on TV channels. They're not actually selected. You can actually sit and watch it and be like, yo, I can't miss this.
There's something about it. Yeah.
When I was like 5-6 years old.
Yeah. I'm constantly like rewatching stuff on Netflix from when I was little. And be like, man, I haven't seen that in like 10 years. What's that about?
I've definitely this year with COVID and lockdown, I've definitely gone into a
nostalgic. I'm sure the whole world has.
It's much like The Land Before Time.
Sometimes they really stand up. I rewatch movies and I'm like, yeah, that was good. And sometimes I rewatch movies and I'm like, whoa, that was so bad. Yeah. Like, just a quick example. I rewatched Ghostbusters, and I used to be a fan. Rewatch it. It's so dated. It's really sexist. It's not fun. It's incredibly sexist. Like, it's rough.
I was gonna say a lot of the movies back from like the even 80s, 90s and stuff. Yeah. You could not use that
just
script
like, God,
nowadays.
Bill Murray, you're being so creepy, bro. Like, you can't act like that. Yeah. It's rough. It's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's good to like take your mind off things and then use those nostalgic movies to like also help you relax and clear your mind as well. It's something that I mean, my go-to is Harry Potter.
Sure.
And if I can't, like sometimes, if I can't watch it, I'll just read the book. Even just
you're a Harry Potter fan. Yep, sure.
Harry Potter, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings.
Sure. Yeah, those are always good. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Classics. Yeah, man.
I mean, I've seen all the Harry Potter movies, but I know I'm not like a fan. Like I know there are people who just read the books constantly.
Yeah,
just read them. I've got students who just won't stop. They're just like, yeah, I've read it like 7 times.
Guilty. Guilty as charged.
You're in it.
I read them, all of them, like every year, and then I read them in Italian as well.
Yeah. Sure, there you go, man.
Movies every year, and it's just like.
I mean, they're good.
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
fine
one of my STEM students. The same one that actually we blew his mind doing the string art.
The circle with lines.
He's also a huge Harry Potter fan, and to help his reading, I actually bring up the PDF that I have at the end of the lesson and be like, right, 10 minutes, go read aloud to me.
Yeah.
And it's actually helped him hear his own English and hear his like how English is actually supposed to sound, in terms of like grammatically.
Yeah.
And it's actually really helped his spoken grammar because he's reading aloud to me the whole time.
And reading aloud, I mean, it's just it's harder than reading, obviously, for all the reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough to read aloud.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, you're using all 3 senses, or nearly all your senses.
And it feels like you have to go. I don't know. It feels like there's more pressure. Like you have to. I don't know. When you're reading in your. I mean, obviously, I guess because you can pause.
Yeah.
Reading aloud is like a separate skill.
Yeah, 100%. And then it's after reading aloud, it's learning to shut up the voice in your head so you learn how to speed read.
Sure.
And that's where things start getting fun.
Man, my brother, a slight tangent, my brother, he has trouble reading. He's had trouble in traditional academia, and he's gotten into Audible. And he reads at ×2.
Interesting.
He listens at ×2.
Yes,
it's like a buzz. Yeah, and he's like, man, it's weird at first, and you work your way up. I remember when he first started, he was at 1.1, and then that summer he was at 1.2, and now he says he's at 2. And he's like, everyone thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, bro, I think you're crazy.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you get used to it, man. I'm so productive. I just listen to so many books. I'm like, yeah, you do, but like, I'm sitting there, it just sounds like buzzing. It's so fast.
Reading ×2, and think
you work your way up, like
sounds
everything.
Like, definitely. It sounds like those the horse racing commentators. And we're coming down the race.
Something like that, yeah. I don't want to read like that. But if I couldn't read, I would probably be looking for outlets like that.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, yo, Trenton, read this book, and you just always struggle with it. And now with Audible, we exchange book titles all the time.
Yeah.
But it's tough with things like philosophy. Like, you can't read Marcus Aurelius on audio.
Yeah, I'm very much a hard copy fan, man. And because I've been reading for so many years as well, it's just kind of now learning just to recognize the words as your eyes go over.
Yeah. And especially with philosophy, I need notes. I need to underline. I need to reread. Anything hard or dense like that. Like printing books has been...
Do you have any favorite art philosophers or educator philosophers?
Art, education. I mean, my favorite philosopher is Marcus Aurelius. I mean, he's the big guy in my world. He's number 1. Art and philosophy. I mean, art and what was the other one? Art.
Education or...
Well, I mean, philosophy is kind of
the study of learning in a way.
Well, we were talking about this the other night. To me, it's the art of living well.
Yes,
I mean,
that was
every philosopher will try to tell you what philosophy is. That's kind of like what we do. I mean, but it is all education. I mean, we want to share this stuff. That's what we're. That's why we write. That's why we lecture. That's why we do this stuff.
Could we call it maybe like the search for truth?
Yes, but the search for truth is always a personal journey. All I can do is point. I like to say that truth is an excavation of self. Like,
ooh, that's tasty.
That's it's good, right?
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
That's very tasty.
Yeah, it goes with my journal. I have a journal program called Dig.
Dig.
Yeah, Dig. Cool. Truth is an excavation of self.
Truth is an excavation of self.
Because people's truths are different because objectivity always has that kernel of subjectivity. So, I mean, when I really get philosophical with people, it's like, look, this is what I think. I encourage you to look at it yourself. You'll find your own truth, and your truth might be different than mine, and that's totally cool. But I find the more that people actualize and look within, we all start to touch this common thing. Yeah, you can see it in people who have like shared experiences. They share a certain outlook on life, and the more you get to know yourself, the more you start to realize what I would call more universal truths, like other people's opinions don't matter.
Yes.
Being super wealthy with money also doesn't matter.
So
like you
these
start
are
to come
the
to these
truths that
ideas.
I'm looking at. These like universal truths that in a sense bind us. In a way.
It's not enough to tell people. It's never enough. It doesn't work to just tell people things. In philosophy, we call this touching the stove. Like your parents told you not to. Yeah. You did it. We all did, right? And you don't not do it until you do it once yourself.
My brother did it so bad once he had to go to hospital.
Mine was the curling iron or whatever, but you do it, right? Like, so everyone has to touch the stove in their own way. You prepare the man for the path, not the path for the man.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you're just like, look, man, you got to sort it. Like, I recommend meditation. I recommend journaling. I could recommend some books, but you'll find your own path and your own truth. And to me, philosophy is a very personal journey. It's very personal. I don't like to be telling people what's what. People don't want to hear that, and I don't want to waste my time, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So guys, if you're looking for truth, start doing some string art and meditating, and you'll find it, I swear.
Yeah, man. Journaling is
a big one. That is definitely a skill that I only realized in the last maybe 4 years or so. Like, oh my goodness.
They don't teach it, man. They don't tell you. I think it's pretty mainstream. People are like, oh yeah, diet, exercise. Oh yeah, meditation. Oh yeah, budgeting. These are like the big ones that everybody knows. Yeah. People don't always do them, but everybody knows. Journaling is like the secret one. That's the real path to understanding yourself.
I think journaling kind of gets classed as like writing in your diary when you're a kid, and then it just gets kind of then separated into different stigmas, and I think that's what could put people off journaling itself.
I think a lot of things put people off journaling. I think the biggest one is writing so that other people can read it, or even writing for yourself to read it. Don't worry about any of that shit. Just write. Yeah. Just go. And like exercise, it's not important what you do. It's important that you just do it. Yep. Like, so just go. And if you want to like journal, cool. If you want to write for a time limit, cool. If you have a page limit or just questions, like just get started. Get it going. Find your own style, just like exercise. Yeah. Like, you'll find something that fits. But if you don't do it, there are consequences.
Yeah. There's something that we do, a psychological exercise called freehand, where you don't think what you write, you just let your hand go and write, and after a while your subconscious comes out and you can start tapping into someone's subconscious doing that. Yeah. So I wanted to ask have you ever tried to do that with any like artworks or with string art, where you have a pattern in mind but you just kind of let it go and then see what happens afterwards?
I mean, that's the balance, that's the flow, man. I mean, sure, things aren't always what you envision. Yeah. And I think it's more important to have the attitude when you're going into an art form or any of this to just, my plan is to adapt. Yes. Yeah, rather than, like, because that'll mess you up and like...
If you try be too strict and if you try color in the lines.
Or just like if we're talking about combat sports, or we're talking about chess, or we're talking about teaching in the classroom, if you're like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do, you're going to run into a lot of problems. Instead of like, what I'm going to do is have a really good framework, and then I'm going to do what I need to do as I need to do it, read my audience, just flow and be adaptive. Yeah, I mean, that's what life does. You want to mimic those natural laws.
Yeah, and again, that's another, I believe, one of the ultimate, what did you call it, the ultimate skills?
Master skills.
Master skills is adaptability.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the flow. Yeah. In my journaling, flow is one of my most repetitive entries. I write the word flow, like under my intention section. Yeah, absolutely. Master skills, which are, I think that was earlier before we were on the thing. Master skills are things that, no matter what you want to do in life, they're things that will help you do it. Flow, patience, balance. Like, no matter if you were into pottery or teaching or just hiking, patience will serve you.
Patience is something I've been preaching since I was a little girl, I swear. And that was something I learned from judo as well, is that you can't get the move. Okay,
it's powerful,
but just
man.
Keep practicing. Don't give up. Keep putting in the hours. And then all of a sudden, it's a whole new world.
Yeah. Yeah. Patience with yourself too, and especially with others. But yeah, you just gotta let things happen in their own time. Yeah. Nothing is too early or too late.
Yeah. Keep the positive mindset, and it'll come. That law of attraction really is a thing.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so much. Yeah.
Stay positive, guys.
We're hitting on
Always
so.
stay positive.
We're hitting on so. We're just barely skimming the surface on like all these topics. Where I'm just like, I could talk about this for about 4 hours.
I know. But unfortunately, our time is slowly running up.
It is what it is. Yeah.
I would like to ask you before we run off: is there any tips or tricks you would like to offer our audience about finding yourself, finding truth, or even just experimenting with art?
Finding yourself and finding truth. Journaling. Like I cannot devalue the power of journaling. Do it in the morning before you do anything else. No phones, no talking to anybody. Once you're on your phone, other people are in your head. Journal. Do it in the morning. Do it every day. That's led me to so much real truth, more than anything, more than any book I've ever read. Journaling has taught me so much about myself and about life. Yeah, journal. I cannot underemphasize it. If I give one piece of advice, it'd be write to yourself. Journal, man. Journal. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I fully agree with you on that one, my friend.
Right on.
But Truitt, thank you very, very much.
It's been my pleasure. We'll have to do it again.
Definitely. So, guys and girls, thank you for watching our Earth Key English podcast. It was a pleasure having this gentleman on with us. If you're interested in learning STEM or STEAM with us and doing string art, please visit our website, www.earthkeyenglish.com. Fill in your name and fill in the form, and you'll get a free lesson with me. I know, right? Guys and girls, please don't forget, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you again every single week. Thank you and goodbye.
Later.